Hi Senior Hawks, it's Mrs. Mareth in the CCRC here with today's senior advisory lesson on the scholarship search. So we get a lot of questions about how to find scholarships, so this video is for you. So first, a quick review of the types of scholarships that are out there. The best source of money is from the college or university themselves. So if you are looking to help finance your education with scholarships, please make sure that you have applied to schools that offer automatic scholarships. It is not too late to add schools to your list if you need to do so. It is November 5th, and certainly there are schools that have automatic scholarships even beyond that November 1 deadline. So this might be something that sparks you to maybe add a school or two to your list, and we'll talk about maybe some ways to find those schools as we move through this Google slideshow. Merit scholarships are the most common type of scholarship, and that is based on some sort of talent. It could be academic, athletic, or artistic. Sometimes they're automatic, meaning all you have to do is apply to the college, and sometimes there are competitive scholarships that you have to send an extra application for. There are need-based scholarships where you will have to prove through the FAFSA that you are a financially needy family. So the FAFSA does need to be on file. Quick reminder, the FAFSA is a graduation requirement or the waiver. The waiver will be available second semester, so we'll talk about that another day. Sometimes the CSS profile, which is a secondary financial aid form, also needs to be on file if it is a need-based scholarship award. If you're confused about the FAFSA or the CSS profile, please come talk to me, your counselor, or our ISAC rep. Our ISAC rep comes to the CCRC every other Tuesday. There may be some special factors for some of these scholarships set forth by the scholarship committee. It might be ethnicity, it might be income driven, which we've talked about. It might be intended major or some other type of talent. Most of our students are looking for outside or external scholarships, and these are scholarships not from colleges or universities, but from companies or organizations. So I'm going to teach you how to find those scholarships using our database. There may be national scholarships, there may be local scholarships, and there could be school-based scholarships. So there may be some that you qualify for because you attend Maine South High School. And there may be some in our database that are only for Maine West students. So these are things that we'll talk about as we go through this presentation as well. How do you find those institutional scholarships? So I mentioned some have an extra application, they're more competitive. Typically you're going to find these through your portals. So once you submitted applications, you should have received an email from the college saying, thank you for applying, now set up your application portal. If you haven't done that yet, you need to do that ASAP because these portals are your lifeline. They will provide your admission decision, which is super important. They'll also provide your financial aid awards once that rolls out. It will also be the place where you will find these separate scholarship portals or applications. So if you don't create the portals, you don't get access to these scholarship portals. Okay, so please do that ASAP if you haven't done that yet. These are screenshots of our community colleges. Oakton and Triton both have scholarships that they offer. So once you submit your application, you'll get access to these portals. Here's a screenshot of Iowa Scholarship Portal. Again, you need to submit the application before you get access to this. So hopefully, if you learn nothing else from this slideshow, it's please make sure that you set up these application portals. They are so important. Another way to finance your education is through the Reserve Officer Training Corps, or ROTC. These programs are often on many college campuses. Typically, the larger schools will have either all three, Army, Air Force, Navy, or maybe one or two of them. Smaller schools will often have a partnership with a larger school nearby. So if you're thinking, I'm going to go to a smaller school, I'm not sure that it's going to offer this, they actually do. They kind of group together. So if you click on these links, and you'll have access to this through your Google Classroom, you'll be able to search for the colleges on your list to see if they offer these opportunities. Finding outside scholarships, so those that are offered by organizations, can be found within schooling. So our database, the scholarship database for District 207, lives within SchoolLinks. We don't have another database that we use, that we add scholarships to. It all goes through SchoolLinks. So to find these, you're going to log into your you're going to log into your SchoolLinks account, go to college, and then scholarship matching. And then you're going to fill out these 3 parts, starting with eligibility. Fill this out with as much detail as possible in order to produce the best matches for you. If you skip some questions, you're not going to get the best matches. So do take your time to fill this out. It doesn't take very long. The second part is interests. Again, the more you fill out, the better your matches will be, and you can choose multiple interests. So information technology and finance. If you're interested in only education and training, you can choose that. You could do multiple ones, like I said. And then you're going to click on colleges, and what this will do is search for any that are specific for that college based on your list. So if you click on college applications, you'll be able to then just add the schools that have already been uploaded from your Common App into here. You can also add schools manually if you would like to. And then you're going to be able to view your matches. You can filter, so there are filters sorting by best match, highest dollar amount. You can favorite these scholarships and come back to them. So this would be a good way to start organizing and then coming back to the ones that you intend to apply to. District posted means that these are scholarships that are vetted by D207. So we put these into the database, so they're local or school-based scholarships only, typically, or maybe some state ones, okay? They're typically not the national ones. Those have already been put in by SchoolLinks. You may notice that there are a lot that you don't qualify for, so that's why doing that eligibility match is really important, because it will show you what your best matches are. And then if you find a if you find a scholarship that you want to apply to, you'll find the apply button right there in blue, and then it will launch a new tab and you can fill out the application accordingly. You can also find scholarships on your Common App. So if you log in and then click on financial aid, which is that little money bag icon, it will pop up scholarships, and then click on those and you'll see what your matches are. These probably aren't as good of matches as you'll find in SchoolLinks, but it's certainly another resource that I suggest that you look at. Don't, however, get distracted by the scholarships before you've submitted your applications. So again, I would do your applications and then look at these scholarship opportunities. Direct admissions on Common App is another way to potentially find schools that might be a good financial fit for you. So in the beginning of this presentation, I mentioned how can you find more schools if you need to add more schools to your list. This is by far the best way to do it. Because these schools are guaranteeing you admission, then they potentially could offer scholarships or just be financially more affordable anyway. So you're not going to find schools on here that do what we call holistic admissions, meaning they look at everything, your transcript, potentially test scores, letters of recommendation, your essay, etc. These schools don't use the essay. They really are more quantitative in their admissions approach, meaning if you have a certain GPA, you're automatically admitted. So again, those schools may offer more scholarships, especially if you're above their average GPA, and they just might be a better financial fit because a lot of them are in-state universities. So if you are a student who needs scholarship money in order to attend college, whether it's need-based or merit-based, I would highly recommend taking a look to see what schools are in your direct admissions section, because it's going to be very easy to apply. You'll just click an add button and then submit your application, and then you know you've already been guaranteed admission. Not a guarantee of financial aid still, but a really good way to potentially find schools that will offer assistance with scholarships and financial aid. All right, let's go over some key points. Make sure you check eligibility requirements. A lot of eligibility is surrounding financial need. So if it's a scholarship where you have to provide proof of financial need, that FAFSA and or CSS profile will need to be on file. Check often, because we're adding scholarships At this point, not quite daily, but we'll get there. So the best time to check is December through March. That's high season for scholarships. I'll say that again. December through March is high season, especially for local scholarships. So if you log in today and you start searching school links, you might think, not a lot in there, Mrs. Marath. I don't know why we're talking about this right now. Well, we're talking about it now to get ahead of when the high season is, so that over winter break and through January and February, you can start checking this. And I do recommend that you set aside a time every week to check the database, favorite scholarships, and then choose another time, maybe it's the same time, to do the applications, because this is a numbers game, and we'll talk about that as we go through these key points as well. I also suggest starting with the district posted scholarships and then move to national ones, because you'll have the best chance of winning a scholarship with less competition. So the district posted scholarships are the local or school-based ones, and then you'll just have a better chance of winning that scholarship. This is a numbers game, so the more applications that you send out, the better your chances are of winning at least one of them. Some students send out 20 applications and maybe get one scholarship. Maybe they get 0. It's risky, but the risk is worth it if you are searching for these scholarships. Please understand you will spend a significant amount of time looking through the School Links database if you are serious about pursuing outside scholarships. There's no shortcut, there's no magic. These scholarships are going to drop in your lap. I don't have a piece of paper that says just apply to these and you'll be guaranteed that you'll win them. There is no such thing. So you do have to spend time on the scholarship database through School Links. So that's why I suggest setting aside a time every week to go through there. Prioritize your time, which ones are most important to you, because there are so many, it can be very overwhelming, which is another reason why that I suggest starting with the district posted ones. Don't pay anyone to help you find a scholarship. You don't need to. It's all in the database. Keep track of your deadlines, especially around spring break. There are some, unfortunately, that will fall during spring break, so you just have to be mindful of that. Another plug for the most lucrative or the most money will come directly from the colleges, so apply for those through those portals if you need to. This is a scholarship search tip. It will direct you to a document which will include additional websites beyond School Links, so like Big Future, which is part of College Board, Niche. There are several other websites, so it's up to you. The resources are available. Again, you're going to spend a significant amount of time researching scholarships if this is a goal of yours. And then just a scholarship tracker document to help you organize your scholarship search, to keep track of the ones that you want to apply for, the ones that you've already applied for, etc. All right, that's all I have for you today, Hawks. Good luck, and go find those scholarships.